Good afternoon, everyone. If I look different, it's because I got glasses about a week ago, and I'm really trying to get used to them. So I'm gonna be wearing them for a little while. It is actually the afternoon. It's 5:30. I wanted to come on here. It's June, finally. It's June 10th. I am a little bit behind on the video content that I wanted to share with you guys, so that's why I figured I'd hop on while I'm making dinner, because it's kind of related to the video that I want to talk about, and that is why I got into homesteading. So first, I just wanted to start by quickly cooking up a little bit of bacon, just because the recipe that I'm using calls for some bacon. While that's cooking, I figured I'd just cook as I talk. So one of the main reasons why I chose to get into homesteading, I guess I didn't really choose it. It's just sort of a lifestyle that I've always kind of grown up around. I've always wanted land. I've always wanted farm animals. I'm not a city girl. I wasn't meant for the city. So I guess in a way I've always just kind of known that I was going to at some point have a homestead. So depending on what it is that you are doing, a lot of people, when they hear the word homesteading, they think of going off-grid. And yeah, a lot of homesteaders do go off-grid. That's not something that I am doing right now, maybe in the future. But I mean, as you know, I live in a neighborhood. I have a backyard garden, and I think one of the biggest reasons why I chose to start now rather than waiting for a piece of land was just so I could have the knowledge. I could kind of get a head start on the lifestyle. For me personally, I feel like there's so much to learn that if I start in stages, it'll be a lot less intimidating for when I do have land. You know, with everything that's going on in the world, all the uncertainty, and now that there's like riots going on from all the ICE raids, and there's a lot of stuff going on right now that you can never be too prepared. And so I think now is honestly the perfect time to start homesteading, because you never know what's going to happen in the future, and you don't know what you're going to be exposed to or what skills you're going to need when. There's a lot of benefits to homesteading too, in addition to just, skills. When you think about how much work it actually is, it builds character, it builds humility, it builds hard work, it builds a culture. One thing that I noticed when I first started homesteading was there's this huge community that also is behind it, and so you kind of feel a sense of closeness with the community, which I kind of like, especially for the people that do live out in further away places. They don't necessarily have the population that you do in a city, and you just have more like-minded people in an area doing this similar things. And with community, comes a sense of identity. It also comes, resources. If there's something that I'm not growing or I don't know how to do, I can just ask somebody in my community and we can trade. And that's one of the cool things about homesteading, is that you meet a lot of people and you get a lot of resources that you didn't know that you had, because there's other people that also have different skills because they have a different background, but they're also homesteading, and so they're willing to share with you. You can never be too prepared. You just never know. Like other parts of the country, there's storms. You get snowed in. Another pandemic happens and store shut down, there's a toilet paper shortage or an egg shortage, or something crazy happens and you can't get the food that you would normally be able to. And so, you know, growing your own food and having your own food sources, that kind of eliminates the need for grocery stores. Another reason why I chose to start homesteading was just so that way I knew where my food was coming from. You know, like you go to a grocery store, you have access to all this food, but you don't really know where it came from. You don't even really know the person who grew it. You don't know anything about where it came from. And I'm fortunate enough to where I don't have, you know, health problems that I really have to worry about, but some people do. And there's all kinds of additives and stuff in your food that you don't even really know is there if you're not growing it yourself. But, you know, being able to grow your own food kind of fixes that problem. You know where it came from, you know who grew it, you know what's in it. Gardening is something that I'm passionate about. So the fact that I get to know where my food comes from and I get to be the one growing it, for me, I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, it is a lot of work and it's not for everyone. But I would much rather know where my food came from and, you know, be able to go into the backyard and just pick it when I need it than to not be able to have access to it because the grocery store that I went to either, you know, raised the prices or it's not available because there's a shortage somehow. I don't have to worry about that if I have my own food source in my backyard. And so that's one of the ways that I kind of eliminate my dependency on the government. Also, I don't know if I talked about this before, but I am in the process of trying to move onto a bigger piece of property, but the house that I'm in currently, I actually co-own with my brother. I bought it 4 years ago almost, and he doesn't want to move, so we're trying to do the loan assumption to get my name off the loan, and that process is just, it is a nightmare. It's very unprofessional and very uncoordinated on their side of things, and that really doesn't make me want to ever have to have a loan again, just because I don't want, I'm probably never going to put myself through that process, but I don't want to have to need it. One of the cool things about homesteading is the ability to be able to have the freedom to grow your own food, eat what you want. I do enjoy cooking, and I think another thing about homesteading is it's a lot of preparing and canning and preserving, which is something that I do struggle with. But, you know, going back to the mindset thing, if you put your mind to it, it's actually a lot easier. And with more practice, you can actually improve. So that is something that I do want to improve upon in my homesteading ventures, is being able to plan out a meal plan and be more prepared for cooking, because when you're more prepared you can actually cook better. And a lot of people, they go to fast food or preserved food, pick up a pizza or something because they don't want to cook or they didn't plan for it. And having that homesteading mindset, you've already taken that out of the equation, so you're just naturally going to eat better food. Are you saving money? You can if you do it right. That's another benefit. Another thing that a lot of people might not realize is that I think every state has homesteading laws that protect you as a homesteader. If you choose to do it, you can actually save money on your property taxes, and also if you do have a loan or you are in some kind of debt, it saves you from your house being repoed if you can't make the payment or if you have to file bankruptcy. There are a lot of laws that actually protect homesteaders.